Alright, there it is, pretty much all the way stacked up. I've got little aligners in there just to keep the ports perfectly lined up, port match it as well as possible. Try my outside. Gasket on, like so. See, I do things like this so I can't screw up. Make it simple, actually, but I don't know. Let's see if the 3-inch bolts work out. It should be very tight tolerances. Just barely enough thread to get a nut on end. Yeah, looks like it is just barely enough to get a nut on. It's about what I expected. They didn't have the size I wanted, so I had to go with 3-inch by 1/4 20. Gotta love Home Depot for that. Every time you want something, they don't have it. So there's that section of it. Now when these compress, it should be plenty of bite on it to apply the pressure needed, so I'm not too worried about not getting much in the way of thread on it right now. You can see just by hand tightening it, it compresses a little. That's not even tight, that's just set. On the bolts between the fender washers, I'm just going to use cut washers, standard washers on them. Again, Home Depot ran out of fender washers. How you run out of 1/4 20 by 1 1/4 fender washers, I'll never figure that one out. One of the most common fender washer on the planet. You'd think you'd have plenty in stock, but they didn't. So, use what I got, and I'll sort it out tomorrow. These are just galvanized. You could use stainless if you wanted to. I don't really see much point in it since the bolts are completely isolated from the electrolyte. So stainless is a bit expensive to be using on just random hardware that doesn't require it. The whole point is to keep everything within reason and work within my budget, which isn't huge. Seems like it dwindles by the second. So that's about what that looks like. Don't want to bore you too much. I usually don't do assembly videos because they're monotonous and it's kind of like, well, duh. You know, you put the bolts on the outside, big deal. But wanted everybody to get a glance at the insides of it and be able to see how it goes together. It goes together pretty easy. It didn't take more than a couple minutes to throw this thing together, really. So, hard part is getting the plates clean. One more maybe? One more. Alright. There we go. I'll snug it up and make another one here in a while. Take it easy.